Hello guys, Sissy here and welcome back to the tutorial. This will actually be the last tutorial episode we are doing because today we're gonna add the background and we're also gonna add some filters to the horse in the background so they blend in well together, and also add maybe some moving dirt around the hooves since the horse is in rear movement kind of. So the first thing we're gonna do actually is to add the background right away. And I have been in the game, taking a picture, and this is the background I have ended up with. It's in Epona, and you can see the castle, and I have blurred the picture a little bit, but I think I'm gonna blur it even more. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this background into the main edit we are doing, tutorial. So, let's see. You take the background from another picture into the other composition, or yeah, what are they calling this exactly? You document, that can also be a name for it. And you see it's actually hiding your horse. That's very easy to solve. You just hold on the layer you want to move and drag it all the way down to actually place it under the horse layer. And ta-da! The horse is visible again. But on this part, sometimes the horse can be smaller or bigger and you want to change that. There's two options for that. We're actually gonna go for a little, we're gonna call that, it's a little heavy to do, but we actually need it for later. We're actually gonna copy every layer we have worked on and merge them together. So we will have one layer now since we are done with the drawing and all. Okay, after we have taken away the layers we don't gonna use, we now need to duplicate the different layers and then merge them together to one horse. The most easiest one is of course the horse layer, since that's only one. The groups are a little more challenging, but we're gonna get that. So, just go right click on the horse, duplicate layer, call it copy 2. And now we're also going to do the same on the shadow and light and tail and mane and so on. So let's see now if we can duplicate the whole thing or if we need to go into, seems like we need to go into the one, no. We don't need to do that. Duplicate. Do this with all of them actually. Now we're actually gonna take away the main ones, keep the copies this time, like that. Now we're gonna mark the ones we're gonna merge. So actually control, click on layers you want to merge, like that. Right click, hopefully we can merge them. Yup, here you have the magical button, or yeah, magical button, woohoo! Merge the layers button, and you're gonna click that. And now we have the one and only horse, which is a layer itself. So only need to concentrate on that particular layer. For the next step, which is like if you want to change the size of it, if you want to make it bigger or smaller, you can now do it on this one layer. I'm not gonna have it that small. So, ta-da! This is very useful for the next step, which is adding filters to the horse. Because we need that so it blends in perfectly with the background. The background is very light and the horse gets a little darker in this case. So, therefore, we're gonna hold in this layer here, go to filter and go on the mighty camera raw filter. Trust me, I've used a lot of time to learn this one. It's a very useful tool, but also a little weird in the beginning. Not so easy to understand maybe in the beginning. And you need to go back and forth to see if this will work. So, now we're gonna just go a little back and forth and see if we're gonna end up with the result we want. So here, I actually recommend to just try a little bit, experiment to see how the horse will turn out for you. Because there's actually no right answer here. You decide how you want your horse to look in this bigger picture. So, gonna speed up this part and we will see how the horse turn out in the end. horse is a little bit later, so let's just go undo camera raw filter to see the changes. Like the horse is way later. There we go. Lighter. It's much lighter than the horse we were working on. So I would say it actually fits much better now in the picture since it's much lighter. But there's one thing I actually forgot to tell you before I began this part. If you want to change it afterwards, you have added obviously the layer. It is possible, but it's very important to change it to a smart object so you can then go in again and change. So that I obviously forgot. So we're actually gonna go for undo camera raw filter. Right click on main copy. We can actually call this horse now, so it's a little easier. And then convert to smart object. The thing is, when you are converting it to a smart object, you cannot use like the eraser and so. Then you need to go back to the normal layer option. But we will not do anything or any changes on the horse right now. When you have it as a smart filter, you can then go back to camera raw filter, do the same changes. And then, like, now I'm gonna do this again. Oops. Yeah, I'm not gonna add all it. I'm gonna take that fast over again. I think it actually did it a little too light. So with this particular one, you can actually go back into the camera filter by double click on camera raw filter and it will open up again. If you have not changed it into a smart filter, you cannot do this. So obviously that should have done that before we added anything. Now the horse actually fits better into the background because of the light, but I also want to change the background a little bit too. So, same procedure, but this time, right click, convert to smart object right away, filter, the mighty camera raw filter, and you could do the same thing here. Alright, now the background is a little better, not so yellowish, it's more like realistic light. Still has some intense green, but I like when the green and blue is a little intense too. I still think like the grass here is a little too visible. And for this, we actually need to add more blur. And for that, when you're actually gonna change things on a smart filter object, you need to like go back. So it's okay to just click on the layer and have you get this smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. Okay, and then you see that the smart filters layers under the main layer disappears. So now, since we have rasterized the background layer, we're gonna go on this, not use the smooth tool, but the blur tool. 71, is that very much? No, I think 71 is good. And we have a big blur brush. We can blur out the grass a little bit. Still want the ground around the horse though to be sharp. Actually, I'm gonna take it all out in the background here to actually blur it even more, but not that much. Because here we need to add a little bit shadow. So, because now it still looks like the horse is just put into the background there. So we need to add some shadow to get the horse to look a little more in one with the background somehow. And also some moving dirt around the hooves so it looks more alive. So let's first add the shadows around the hooves kind of. And then maybe add a weak spot under the horse here as well. And for that, we will always, of course, work on layers. So we're gonna add another layer over the background layer. Pull this shadow. And actually go for black really. Go to the pen tool, but we're gonna have the opacity to, let's see if we need to go 20. Of course, gonna have a soft brush. Click on a pen brush for opacity and size. Then checking out brush settings. There we go. English working today. And actually go maybe a little lower on the size. Just add a little shadow here. Yeah, the tail is not an easy thing to add, really. So the smooth tool will be super useful here as well. So then we're gonna go a little down here as well. Smooth out the shadow a little bit. Maybe not use the eraser that much, but actually the smooth tool. Something like that. But we're also gonna change how the horse is now because it's very light compared to the background I can see. So I will change that very fast before we go further on to the dirt around the hooves. So the next part is actually adding dirt around the hooves so it looks like it's in that movement, and that's not an easy thing to get done, but I will make it somehow. And for that, of course, we're gonna start on a new layer. Call this moving dirt. We're gonna focus mostly around the hooves. So first of all, I'm just gonna see if we have some pencil that will help us a little bit with that. So let's see. Pencils for dry medias. Like, it's funny to see that they are in Norwegian, even that I have Photoshop in English. Let's see. Ooh, this looks fancy. Let's see how that. Yeah, that was too compressed somehow. Let's see this. Well, how was that? Definitely not this big. Gonna take it down to 25. Yeah. Opacity to 54, and actually go to the color picker and add a color. Even later. Something like that. Ooh! That was not that bad, really. It looks weird now because it's so pixeled, but I think we can use this one. And trust me, I'm gonna blur this one because they are so pixeled right now. If we try to, whoops, way too much, you guys. Like, for this particular part, I'm a beginner mode because I have not added much dirt around the hooves before. Okay, by actually blurring it, it will be way better. Yeah, okay, nice. Actually turned out great. But this, can be interesting. Let's see if we're actually gonna use another pencil for that. Let's see if we can actually use this one, opacity to actually down to 12. Kind of want to make a smoke looking feeling somehow. Okay, I think I'm gonna add a new layer for the front hooves, really, just in case. Front hooves dirt. I love my names, all my layers, really. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna use this particular pencil. I think it's best to use pencils for dry medias, really. I tried to have a look at pencils for other medias, but it didn't turn out that great as I want. So I actually really just did it like that, upwards, because the horse is rearing upwards. So just added this and then added blur, really very hard blur brush on it, and it turned out actually cool. Right now I think it's too much happening over here, so that we can of course change by, let's see, that was the smoke and that was a lot. Go to front hooves dirt, eraser, soft brush of course, opacity down really to 20, and of course pen pressure for opacity and size, and then just erase it a little bit actually to shape it too, really. Now it doesn't look so dramatic over here. Now we can see a little dirt around the hooves, so let's actually create the movement somehow, or yeah, the movement in the picture. And let's see, what more should we do? I think the color of the horse is good, but the background, I found it a little light here with the blue and all. But the ground will get really dark by doing that, so maybe we'll do this another way, and that is actually capturing only the sky instead of the rest of the ground. That's a little harder work, but it's possible. By using this particular, what is this called again? Quick selection tool. And the plus icon, take away the brightness and contrast, layer 5, and have the size a little bigger since we are actually going for the sky in particular. I was actually adding the horse, but that is because the horse is on another layer, so we can actually do this. Yeah, that selection is not bad at all. So we can now control G to add actually a layer of it. And then now let's see if we go here and actually add Photofilter to that particular one. Flipping mask, so not add this to the other layers. Whoa, that actually made a huge difference, really. Okay, now we're talking. Let's bring back the horse. Whoops, wrong horse. Ooh, okay. Actually liking this, you guys, with little like orange or warming filter. We can also actually add color. I think that warming filter was good. You have plenty of filters to add, of course. To do this though, click on this little circle here and then go for photo filter. You can go for black and white, color balance, hue and saturation. Remember, you can like play around with all of this. It's so much fun, really. I'm not gonna do that right now since we are actually over time already. But that actually helped a lot on that sky, really, because it was very blue. But adding some warming filter so it adds down the color a little bit, it turned out way better. So you guys, I think we're gonna end here with the full edit and the tutorial. It was a lot of fun, really, to do the horse first and then add the background. And also the smoke and dirt around the hooves as well. So yeah, it takes a lot of time when I do this from the beginning, really. I normally take a picture of the horse in the game, but then I select the horse. I actually use the quick selection tool to take out the horse instead, and then focusing on the horse and then add the background later on, like we did here. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions on certain things, let me know in the comments below, and I will answer them as best as possible. There's a lot of work going on when I'm doing edits, like you have seen here. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for watching this tutorial. Like I said, maybe 1, 2, 3 times already. If you have any questions during or about this tutorial, let me know in the comments below and I will answer them. If you want a live stream later on where I'm going again through things, let me know also in the comments below. I have a lot of fun during this tutorial, and it has been interesting to actually now explains everything I do, because it's not like that when I'm actually in the focus mode and doing these things. Trust me, it's totally different worlds. But I had a lot of fun, and thank you so much for suggesting this, and we'll see what more will come up later on. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, share it with friends and family, and also subscribe to my channel for more videos from horse games and my edits. And I see you next week for a question of the game. Also, let's see here, Tales of Rain Ravine, but there will be no live stream this week or next week since I'm on vacation. But the week after that, I'll be right back with live stream as well. So bye!